I'm Charlene James. I'm the instructor for the Center for Legal Pedagogy at Thurgood Marshall School of Law, and maybe the only person in here without a JD, so I always think it's nice to tell people what my background is in education and research. I'm a curriculum and instruction designer. I deal with education strategy. My specialties are millennial generation, student-centered instruction, adult education, and specifically classroom redesign. So when I first came to Thurgood Marshall School of Law, I really sat down with faculty to ask them, what do you see the Center for Legal Pedagogy doing? What are those areas of growth or support that you need? I had conversations with them, formal, informal, did a couple of surveys, but overall, the feedback was, we need more support. We need more hands-on support. We need more accessible, we need you to be more accessible. The quality and spectrum of support needs to be greater. And our strategic plan at TMSL has us saying that we want to maintain a faculty of superior teachers. So if we're going to do that, then we have to give them the support. So I did want to talk a little bit about some of my faculty who wanted to know, well, why, outside of content, why do we need to be putting so much time and energy into instruction? And it's because our students have changed. Now our faculty are having to spend more time developing critical frameworks. Our students have more expectations of them. They have more developmental needs. They have more needs for social support. And of course, we have students who are now not process focused. So whereas traditionally we could have spent 90% of our class time on content, now faculty members are having to address other things in their classroom that they did not traditionally have to do, which means we have to support them because our faculty are now doing a lot more developmental education. They're doing a lot more social support. The students are in their classrooms, their offices a lot more, stopping them in the hallway, getting tons of emails. So if my faculty are teaching, they're researching, and they're going out there and doing their own professional development, and on top of that, we're asking them to do a lot of extra research on how to be those magnificent superior teachers we want to see, that's a lot to ask. And so I wanted to take on that burden because I'm the Center for Legal Pedagogy. And one of the ways I wanted to do that based on the feedback they gave me was the faculty resource site. This is a resource site that I developed, designed, managed myself. It's an interactive website that increases instructional productivity by giving faculty access to a wide spectrum of electronic resources that are competency-based and implementation ready. Implementation ready is a big deal. We all know that there's a plethora of research out there, but not all research is created equal. So if we give our faculty access to information that has already been curated and vetted for what they teach, the structure of their classroom, the content, then our faculty really do have information that is implementation ready. So the faculty resource site is a user-friendly one-stop shop with everything I offer in the center. It's a curated website. And it's instructor specific. So a lot of my instructors, they don't want to read all of that information. They just want to know, okay, this is what I have in mind. How can you get me there? So then I can come in and do that for them. The whole idea here is my faculty aren't going to come, not all, some of them will, but most of them aren't going to come and seek me out and sit down with me for an hour or 45 minutes. So I want them to be able to find information that they can use immediately. So here are screenshots from the website. Of course, I'll give you this information if you'd like it. This is the main page. What you don't see is a little box that pops up and says, hey, do you need training help? I'd love to help you. Please email me. Again, trying reinforcing this idea that, hey, I am here. Use me as a resource. Speaking of resources, the meat of this website is the resources. It's going to change in just a second. But you'll see we have three main resources. We have a Dropbox for our professors. We have curated resources, just a lot of content, and then we have my favorite virtual workshops. So if you look up at the bottom left, we have our virtual workshops. They click there and it goes to all of the virtual workshops. Right here on the right, we have all resources, and then right underneath the screen, we have the Dropbox. So I'm going to start talking about the resources. When my faculty were giving me all of the information and feedback about what they wanted to know, what they needed help with, a lot of the feedback that I received had to do with this idea that there's a lot of high-level theoretical content. And that's interesting. I love reading about it, but I need to know how to put it into practice in my classroom. So I wanted to make sure that the resources that were on this website were resources that they could go to and read or watch. And if they had tons of things to do in their day, they could still glean information from that they could utilize in their classrooms. I'd like to point out that the Educating Tomorrow's Lawyers website is on the website. We've got a link from it right there. But there's a key. You'll see the key has it color-coded with images. The whole idea is making it easier for them and taking the load off of them doing extra work to be the type of professor and teachers we want them to be. This is my favorite part of the website. So these are all virtual workshops that I put together myself, and it's a virtual workshop because I basically videotaped myself with IT's help doing presentations like this about these specific areas. All of the feedback that I got from professors on what they wanted help with, what they needed, opportunities for things they wanted to do in their classroom fell in these 4 sections. So these are important because none of these presentations are longer than 10 to 15 minutes. All of the presentations do 3 things. They give them the content information, exactly what it is, how this may or may not be good for your classroom depending on the content and the density of the content you teach, the structure, and then it also gives them implementation tools and tells them how I can give them the information they need. This is the Dropbox. Again, faculty members who need help with something aren't going to always come and seek me out. So they can upload their syllabi here if they need a more engaging syllabi because their students are confused about what they want from them. Their PowerPoint presentations, modules, lesson plans. They can send it to me in a way that allows them access to me that they might not otherwise take if they had to come walk to my office and seek me out outside of everything else they were already doing. Something that's really important to me is trying to help my professors figure out a way to integrate a lot more experiential learning into their classrooms because our students really need that starting 1L year. And so I have a couple of professors who've signed on. So this part of the website is really me just stating my case and pleading with professors to seek me out. Other faculty are doing it. It's not crazy. You're not doing everything wrong. And I'm not turning everything on its table. There's simple things we can do and it'll be beneficial to everybody. So if you want more information, I'd be happy to share. Thank you.